How's it going, guys? Donovan here. As you guys know, a few weeks back I installed this Gen 6 Whipple onto my 2016 Charger RT. You guys have seen some videos on this already. If you guys haven't seen the first impressions video yet, I recommend watching that before you watch this video. One of my biggest complaints about the Whipple kit is the vacuum controller that it comes with to control boost. Whipple uses kind of an outdated, in my opinion, vacuum style boost controller. Long story short, it makes the pedal feel maybe unpredictable in that when the car is not in boost, it feels kind of lazy, and then all of a sudden boost will kick on and the car goes from like 0 to 100. It doesn't feel great. I'm really excited to announce that I partnered with Modern Muscle Extreme to make a review and install video of their electronic boost controller. The cool thing about their kit is it replaces the vacuum controller that comes on the 3-liter Whipple kits for the non-Hellcat style cars. So that's what we're going to be doing here today. And it'll make the car drive a little more linearly, a little more behaved, a little more predictable to drive. If I didn't mention this already, I didn't emphasize this enough. I am partnered with Modern Muscle Extreme. They didn't send me this for free, but they did work with me on the price. With that being said, you guys are still gonna get an honest review from me. This was something that if they didn't partner with me with, I was actually gonna buy myself anyways for full price. So just wanna throw that out there. So if you don't mind, let's take a look at what's going on in this kit. I'll show you guys the cool stuff first. Comes with this controller where you can control how the boost ramps up. You can have no boost, you can have full boost. That'll dictate how far or how much the bypass valve opens. You can also set it to things like street mode, makes the boost ramp up a little more linearly. Race mode will give you more boost at like partial throttle. The guys at MMX told me that people love the race mode. I personally kind of drive like a grandma, so I might keep it on street mode, but you guys will hear my first impressions of all the different modes that this thing offers. Next is going to be the actual boost controller. I need to unbox this really quick. So here you go. Here's how it looks. It's direct. It's going to be a direct replacement for this vacuum controller here. And you may be wondering, well, then how does it actually control the boost? Well, the next answer is that they give you this really nice, basically pre-wired wiring harness. And one of these connectors you will run through the firewall, and that will connect to your throttle position sensor, so your actual gas pedal in the car. And that means that this electronic controller will be able to control the amount of boost you're getting directly based on what your throttle position is at. So once again, it'll make things a little more pleasant, a little more predictable to drive. I don't think I mentioned this already, but you will need to wire the controller into an accessory wire that only powers on when the car is running. That way you don't get that parasitic battery draw. So they give you a bunch of different fuse taps that you can use. When I did the Whipple install, the Whipple also has its own like auxiliary coolant pump, which you can kind of see that, I mean, this thing looks like Predator here with all the coolant lines. These are all coolant lines. You can see an extra coolant tank here. The Whipple kit basically has its own coolant system, and you have to wire up a pump for it that runs on accessory power already. So if you see this wire coming out of my fuse box, that is already tapped into one of the accessory fuses. So I spoke with the guys at Modern Muscle Extreme, and they said I should be able to just tap into that wire already, so that this same fuse tap will power both the Whipple coolant pump as well as the Modern Muscle Extreme electronic boost control. One thing I'm also a sucker for that they threw in the box for me is they gave me a sticker. They gave me this little bag tag. With that being said, let's get into the install. I think looking at the install, I mean, it's all pretty straightforward. Like I said, they give you this wiring harness that's already pre-done. Things are pretty simple. They're already labeled, which is very nice. They have like, this is the wire that I'm gonna run to that fuse tap. They have one that goes to the fuse box, and one's a body ground, chassis ground here somewhere. I think the most difficult part of this install is going to be running these two wires through the firewall, so I can actually, number one, connect this controller to the throttle position wires, which are in the cabin, as well as wiring up this actual selector so that I can select the boost level from in the cabin. Let's get started. So first things first, just to show you guys, by the way, before you start this, make sure you unplug the battery in the back. You can see if you open up this brake fluid access plastic door, you can see the grommet in the back there, if my camera would focus, that you're gonna need to fish the wiring harness through. So me personally, I think that I am going to mount the switch there, I guess the knob to control how much boost you're getting, right there in kind of the center console. That's going to require me taking the dash apart a little bit just to fish the wire through. I'm not going to show you guys step by step how to do that. I'm actually following a guy named Reed Performance, his video on YouTube. I'm going to start with running the wiring harness first, and then I'll do the install of the actual controller part on the Whipple last. So at this point, there are two M8 bolts that hold the original vacuum controller in place. And then there's this nut that spins on this arm, and that's basically how it controls the bypass valve. So basically completely taking this thing off and replacing it with the MMX one. And you'll see how this goes is this thing will go onto this arm, and then these are just the holes for those two bolts we removed. So guys, I would like to add that there is this port that the vacuum controller was originally plugged into. I'll have it marked here on the screen. That port does not connect to the MMX Boost Controller, so you're going to need to plug that off with just a vacuum cap. I personally just ran to O'Reilly's and grabbed a multi-pack of vacuum caps because you never know if you'll need them for another project in the future. It would have been really nice if one came with the MMX kit though. So keep in mind, you'll just want to cap this off so that you don't get a vacuum leak. So just to give you guys an update, I have the fuse tap spliced in. All the wiring is pretty much done. There's a ground. You go to this 12-volt connection here, and that's it. And then you'll wire in the actual controller here. You'll want to make sure when you initially install this that it is turned the correct way. So make sure you follow their directions very closely. There, I actually had to reinstall it because I had it clocked like 180 degrees. So I don't have the dash completely together just yet, because I want to make sure everything works before I put it back together. Also, one thing I forgot to add, you do have to tie in one of the wires to the pedal position sensor. So yeah, just make that known. Just a few notes on the calibration that you have to perform on the MMX controller. First thing what you're going to want to do is you're not going to want to start the car, but you're going to want to put the car in run mode. I'd say give everything like 30 seconds to settle while the car is in run mode. On the actual controller that you wired in the cabin, you're going to want to switch that all the way over to calibration mode. Once that's in calibration mode, you should see a red LED light up. From there, you're going to want to come to the engine bay, to the actual like actuator controller. And on the arm, there's going to be a really, really tiny set screw that you're going to have to tighten until the LED on that controller in the cabin turns green. Actually, you can see the set screw there between these two coolant lines. When you put the controller knob into the calibration mode, it's going to turn this arm all the way. So looking at this way, if it's rotating, it's going to rotate counterclockwise. And this will make it so that you can tighten this set screw from just kind of behind these coolant lines over here with a really tiny Allen wrench. And of course, you're going to want to make really small adjustments until the LED on the controller knob in the cabin turns green. And at that point, it's calibrated and you can switch it to whatever mode you want to drive it. So street mode, race mode, valet mode, whatever. All right, guys, so the car is all back together. Controller's there. Like I said, I need to create a better mounting position for it. I would really like to put it in the dash. It didn't seem like there was enough wiring in the wiring loom to be able to reach to the dash. Like, this was pretty much as far as I could get it away from the grommet, which is kind of tucked up under the footwell there. I don't think I would have been able to get it to the glove box, so that's something to consider. Now that I've driven around with it, I would prefer that it was in the glove box, but it is what it is. With that being said, that is an overview of the install of the MMX Boost Controller. I'm going to split the first impressions up into a second video, just because this video has already gotten kind of long, and I want to put some miles on the car and do a couple tune revisions before I give you guys a complete first impressions and complete review of the Boost Controller. But hopefully this video was helpful. Once again, shout out to MMX. I'll see you guys in the next video. If you aren't subscribed, please remember to hit that subscribe button, and have a nice rest of your day.